You've found Wickett on Wisconsin, your one-stop podcast for all things Packers, Brewers, Bucks, and the rest of your favorite teams from all over the state of Wisconsin. We're powered by Wisconsin Sports Heroics, online at wisportsheroics.com and the Wisconsin Podcast Association. And now, here's your host, Mike Wickett.
Yo, Happy New Year, Wickett, here with you. Thanks for checking out another episode of Wickett on Wisconsin. Lots to get to. A ton to get to. On the field, off the field. Got guys going after Aaron Rodgers. The debate about starting and benching players. Who's coming back? And there's just so much. Put a bow on last Sunday. I don't know what to say about last Sunday that you haven't already thought, because last Sunday was... Well, look, it was varsity versus JV. Even if Kirk Cousins had started that game for the Minnesota Vikings, I still don't think they come in and upset Green Bay at Lambeau in those frigid conditions. I mean, you look at a team that looked like they did not want to be there. That Minnesota Viking team, certainly with Sean Mannion as their quarterback, did not want to be at Lambeau Field, and it felt that way while just sitting on the couch and watching it on Sunday Night Football. I mean, we don't get to see that kind of a blowout, that kind of an ass-kicking out of Green Bay. And I got to tell you, I love the formula for it. I mean, it was so very well balanced. Aaron Rodgers threw for 288 and 2 scores. But what I loved so much was my guy A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones just hammering the ball, running the ball inside, running the ball outside. Who wants to tackle A.J. Dillon in September, much less who wants to tackle A.J. Dillon in December and January? I mean, that dude is such a Mack truck. Cold bones, cold hands, cold everything. And it was a thing of beauty to watch. I love power football. What can I say? I know Chris Collinsworth actually said that on Sunday night, and I have to agree. I love power football. And A.J. Dillon carried the ball 14 times for 63 yards, had the 2 scores. He also caught a pair of passes for 20 yards, 16 for 83 total yardage, and 2 touchdowns for the Sauce. Meanwhile, Aaron Jones, the dude was just so fluid on the outside. That is what you love to see. The two guys complement each other so well. 8 for 76 on the ground, 5 for 30 more, 13 for 106 total for Aaron Jones. The two running backs combined for 29 touches and 189 total yards and 2 scores. Like, if I get that out of the Green Bay offense, and I know what Aaron Rodgers is going to do, Green Bay is going to have a really, really good chance of winning the Super Bowl. But that's what you want to see. You want to see that balance. You want to see Aaron Rodgers play well. You want to see those two guys do what they do. And, of course, the great Davante Adams is, he's been in the news a lot lately. We'll get into his future, I'm sure, down the road about the rumors of being franchised in the offseason. We'll see what kind of mood that puts Davante and or Aaron Rodgers in. But that's later. But this offense, when it was humming along like it was with Allen Lazard catching passes and Davante Adams having his way, and some of the little things that Chris Collinsworth, I know some people don't like Chris Collinsworth, but some of the little things that Collinsworth and some of these analysts point out about Davante Adams, they make so much sense when someone says it to me, and I'm no football savant. I'm a guy who sits behind a microphone and watches games just like everybody else, and I react to it and probably overreact, especially on Twitter. Follow me at Mike Wickett right there if you're watching the video. But the little things like, when does Davante Adams put his hands up? Just those little things. Now, it helps when you've got, on some of these routes down the sideline or whatever, the hands come out at the very last second from Davante. And not everybody has a quarterback who's going to drop the football exactly where your hands are going to come out at the last second. It's nice to have the greatest thrower of the football in the history of the National Football League. That's great, but to be able to put it right there is just a thing of beauty. And for for Rodgers and Davante to have the chemistry that they do, for them to be able to trust one another, and for Davante to know that if he runs his route to where he's supposed to go and where Aaron Rodgers knows he's going to go, and there's so much more than just you go up 15 and this way. There's so much more to that. There's so much involved in route running that simpletons like me don't know or don't notice. And I love when Collinsworth and Greg Olson and Tony Romo and these guys on TV, they're pointing stuff out to us. There was a play earlier this year where Davante's eyes, You don't see this. You see that quarterbacks where eyes drag guys over all the time. But Devontae's eyes took a defender right to Devontae's right towards the sideline. And then all of a sudden Devontae cuts in because he looked right. And that's where the impression or the fake was going to be on the outside. Then the double move on the – I mean, it's such a thing of beauty to watch Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers. And we are all very fortunate that if you've been a Packers fan for a while, you've been able to watch the entire career of Davante with Aaron Rodgers. And who knows what the future holds. I know we keep on talking about that. But this football game, never in doubt. I don't care how bad Green Bay looked in that first quarter. This game was never in doubt in my mind, not with Sean Mannion back there, and I don't think that it's even much of a contest if Kirk Cousins plays in this football game. I think Green Bay was just so dominant offensively, they could do anything they wanted. Mannion was not going to play a perfect game, and defensively, they look like, sharks when they see blood in the water or smell blood in the water. It was just attack. Dalvin Cook could get nothing done. The entire Vikings sideline had that horrible body language of just, we're cold. Remember Jamarcus Russell from the Raiders about a decade ago, just looking freezing cold? That's what all of these Vikings look like on the sideline, especially when you're getting your ass kicked by 21 points in the third quarter. Your quarterback can't muster anything. You're sitting just waiting for the game to end so you can get warm and go back to the locker room and get on the bus and get to the plane and go home. That's what it looked like. That team quit because they knew they had no shot to beat Green Bay. And then at the end, we got to see a little bit of Jordan Love running some RPO stuff. And my buddy Peter Bukowski, who does a podcast, Locked On Packers, he went through throw by throw for Jordan Love. And, Love looked like he was, again, at that point in the game, it was a blowout. How much was Minnesota actually playing? Who was Minnesota actually playing in that game? But, watching Love go through the motions in real action, real game time, it was nice to see him run the RPO and flip it out and avoid, outstretched arms of defenders. And the problem I had when Peter was doing this on Twitter was all these people saying, well, he doesn't throw it like Aaron Rodgers. Well, of course he's not going to throw it like Aaron Rodgers. He's not Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer and one of the greatest quarterbacks ever to play the game, and Jordan Love has started once. So anybody who's going to compare the two running LaFleur's offense at this point in their careers, just flat out nuts. Just flat out nuts. So Green Bay wins. They hold on to the number one seed. They don't have to even play any of their guys this weekend against the Detroit Lions. Also, they'll have the bye, which is, all things considered, everything they've been through, that's pretty damn impressive. And it was something that I talked about in the podcast a while ago, that this record, they could get to 14 wins. They could get to 14 wins, which would be pretty impressive, all things considered. All the players they've lost, we've gone over everybody who has not been able to play. We've done that. I could do that for you again, but you know who they are. And it looks like we might see Jair back in the playoffs. Having that extra bye, having that bye with that extra week off is fantastic for a number of reasons. 1, Aaron's toe. 2, Jair's shoulder. 3, the ACL of David Bakhtiari. Zadarius Smith, all these guys getting that extra week to get back for that playoff game at Lambeau Field, whoever it's going to be against. Key, awesome, massive. And the fact that they don't have to really go all out against the Lions is, I was going to get to this at the end of the podcast, but let me do this right now. Should Green Bay play all of their starters against the Detroit Lions? LaFleur said they're going to play. How long they're going to play, we don't know. The plan right now is full game. They'll pull guys out. Personally, I'd like to see Green Bay attack this like the second or maybe third preseason game. I don't really need to see Aaron Jones and Davante Adams in the fourth quarter. I don't care if they're blowing the Lions out or they're losing to the Detroit Lions. Really don't care. Just get them the reps, go through practice like normal. Don't get rusty, because if you take this week off and then the bye week off and then you get back to practice, you haven't played a meaningful set of minutes in 3 weeks. You haven't gone through your normal practice routine and game day routine in 3 weeks. That can, as we've seen, come back and bite teams in the postseason. Now, the last couple of years, teams like the Kansas City Chiefs have rested their players when they have the number one seed locked up. Green Bay is going to play them. 2 quarters, max. That's all I want to see. I don't want to see anything else besides that. Maybe a third. Aaron Rodgers wants to throw the football around and solidify his back-to-back MVP, to solidify MVP number 4. And I can't knock him for that. Not too many guys have won 4 MVPs in the National Football League. Not too many guys have gone back-to-back winning MVPs. And, of course, Brett Favre went back-to-back-to-back when he won his 3. But I think you're going to see Rodgers come in, out of the gate, throw the ball around, maybe throw a couple of touchdowns in the first half, and that'll be it. Then it'll be Jordan Love time. I do believe that's what's going to happen because Rodgers wants to put a stamp on his MVP case, and I don't think that Rodgers nor LaFluer want to play a lot of these guys deep into the second half. The game is meaningless. They can't improve their stock. They can't improve or lose any spot in the NFC playoffs. Get him in there, get the routine, get him out of there, and let the second and third stringers get some minutes in this football game. You know Detroit wants to beat Green Bay, even though I know and you know this isn't going to be a Green Bay-Detroit game that matters all that much. Probably means more to Detroit than it does to Green Bay because that team just needs to feel good, needs to get wins, needs to get some good vibes going throughout that roster. So I think this game is bigger for Detroit than it is for Green Bay. Half a game, I'm good. Now, why does Rodgers need to go out there and put a stamp on his MVP campaign? Got to talk about Hub Arkush. My guy Hub Arkush, who I have had on my radio programs when I've talked, when I was on in the Fan in Green Bay or in Milwaukee. Hub Arkush has always been good to come on. Guy's been around the league for a long time, and he's one of 50 players or 50 guys who get to vote for the National League. He's one of 50 guys that get to actually vote for the NFL MVP. Easy for me to say, right? Hub writes for a Chicago website. Hub was on The Score up in Chicago and said that he is not voting for Aaron Rodgers because of Aaron Rodgers' vaccination status, the offseason drama, the immunization stuff, and everything. He calls him a bad guy. And he says that you can't be a bad guy, paraphrasing, you can't be a bad guy and be the MVP. And it has created such a firestorm in the National Football League it was a 16-minute interview that Hub did on The Score with my friend Danny Parkins. And there's a lot of people, I would say out of the 50 guys that get to vote for the NFL MVP, I wouldn't be surprised if there are somewhere between 5 and 8 that agree with Hub, that are sick of the drama, that won't vote for Aaron Rodgers because of the offseason, because of the immunization, vaccination stuff. And I don't care what your opinion is. This is just, what your opinion is on the vaccination rules of the NFL. They are what they are. And I've been very vocal about the way I think Aaron Rodgers handled that situation. I think he handled it very, very poorly. You want to check that podcast out? WISportsheroics.com. Search Wickett on Wisconsin. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple. It's on Google. I don't need to get back into that. But the rules are the rules. Aaron violated. We know what happened. They lost to the Chiefs. We fast forward. I think there are 8 to 10 guys out there 5 to 8 guys that are going to hold that against Aaron Rodgers and not vote for him. Just like there are a lot of baseball writers who will not vote Barry Bonds or Roger Clemens or Sammy Sosa or Mark McGwire or anybody who is a known PED user into the Hall of Fame, regardless of their numbers. Personally, I'd vote for him, but that's my own personal choice because I think what happens on the field, PED or not, because you're going up against other players who are PED users, I personally would vote him in. This isn't a podcast about about Cooperstown. This is a podcast about Wisconsin sports. And getting back to Aaron Rodgers, I believe Aaron Rodgers should get the MVP vote if you believe he is the most valuable on the field. And Aaron Rodgers has been flat out amazing this year, other than week 1 and the game against the Kansas City Chiefs. I've never in my career heard of an MVP candidate get measured for what happened in the offseason and any sort of vaccination. Now, to counter that, we've never had an MVP candidate, to my recollection, who had an offseason like Aaron Rodgers, and we haven't seen the vaccine thing happen in the National Football League. So it's tough to compare Rodgers to anything, like any of Peyton Manning's MVPs or whatever. Like, well, that offseason Peyton Manning had. No, I don't remember Peyton Manning ever having a drama-filled offseason. Aaron had the drama-filled offseason. Brett Favre those MVP seasons were in the rear view mirror when all of his, I'm retiring, I'm not retiring, I need time to think about it. You remember all that. His offseason never really factored in when he was winning his MVPs many moons ago. Could have said that he, might have been the MVP when he was playing for the Vikings, but that's a conversation for another day. So I've never seen a situation like this before. And to me, and Hub can do what he wants. I don't like that Hub is going to factor in the offseason. I think it kind of discredits Hub a little bit from a football writer's perspective, but Hub can do what he wants. He is an established NFL writer, established enough to be one of 50 to vote for the MVP. He can do whatever he wants. Personally, I think it's on the field, and that is it. I do think that perhaps if something extreme were to happen with Aaron Rodgers and we find out he is cheating like Bonds or Sosa or McGuire, all right, I'd listen to that. But what Aaron Rodgers did isn't cheating. What Aaron Rodgers did was deceive and lie and whatever. But Aaron Rodgers didn't cheat. He didn't gain an advantage by not getting the vaccine. So, and you can say, well, Mikey didn't wear his mask. Whatever. On the field, Aaron Rodgers played a much better season, overall consistency, clutch, efficiency, than any other quarterback in the NFL. As a matter of fact, I don't have Brady necessarily on my top 3. I have him at number 4. I've got Rodgers, Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp. I don't get a vote, but Brady would be 4th on my vote if I ever were to get one. So I bring all this back to Sunday's game because I think that right now there might be some people that are teetering, saying, well, I was going to vote for Rodgers, but then Hub brought up the vaccine thing, and I'm not 100% sure. What should I do? I think there will be one or two defectors, people who may have been leaning one way, maybe didn't like what Rodgers did, but didn't think it was enough to justify not voting for him, see what Hub has said and know what Hub is going to do, and then we'll go the other way and vote Brady, vote Taylor, vote Cooper Kupp, whoever they vote for the National Football League MVP. I think Rodgers needs to go out and have a big first impression. I think Rodgers needs to go out and have the big last impression, first impression of the game, last impression of the season, throw a couple of touchdowns, and then get out. And then we'll see what happens with the MVP. He's Aaron Rodgers' season has just been so unbefreaking-leavable, if that's a word to put it, or a way to put it. Doug Clawson, I'm going to read to you some ridiculous stats of Rodgers over the last 2 seasons. The season of it, the career of Aaron Rodgers, the stats, the threads, all of this stuff is insane. Aaron Rodgers against the NFC North, against Minnesota, against Chicago, and against Detroit over the last 2 years. Aaron Rodgers has thrown 36 touchdown passes and 0 interceptions. 36-0 over the last 2 years in the division. The Green Bay Packers are the first team in the NFL, in the history of the league, with 3 straight 13-win seasons. Aaron Rodgers has 83 passing touchdowns, 9 picks in the last 2 years. The only guys to do anything better than that, arguably better, Peyton Manning, threw 94 touchdowns, but 25 interceptions. Again, remember, Aaron Rodgers was 83-9. Manning did it again where he went through for 92 touchdowns and 21 interceptions. Breeze, 89-33 interceptions. Rodgers had a crazy 2-year span where he went 84-14, but currently in the last 2 years, 83 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. That's insane. And he's got the one more game to go, and it's the 17th game, whatever you want to say. In his last 6 games, Aaron Rodgers has 18 passing touchdowns and 0 interceptions. He's the first player in NFL history with 18 touchdowns and 0 picks in a span of 6 team games. 6 team games. I mean, just the numbers for Aaron Rodgers over the last couple of years with head coach Matt LaFleur have been nuts. Rodgers can wrap up his 6th career season with the lowest interception rate in the NFL. It's at like 1.3% or whatever. That would pass Sammy Baugh, who has 5. Aaron Rodgers has the highest touchdown percentage and the lowest interception percentage in this year. The other 4 people to ever do that, Ken Anderson in 81, Steve Young in 92, Tom Brady in 2010, Aaron Rodgers last year. All 4 of them won the MVP. And this would be the 2nd straight year that Rodgers has done it. He's just been flat out amazing, and it's been under the assistance and guidance of head coach Matt LaFleur, who, by the way, just set the record, as you know, for the best start in NFL history, 39-9. Well, he's got Aaron Rodgers, right? Matt LaFleur is 39-9. That's incredible. Well, he's got Aaron Rodgers. Oh, yeah? Well, the previous 39-9, the previous 48 games in the Green Bay for the Green Bay Packers, they were 24-23-1. I'll say that again, okay? The Green Bay Packers under Matt LaFleur are 39-9. Well, he's got Aaron Rodgers. Oh, yeah? The Packers with Aaron Rodgers in the previous 48 games are 24-23-1. You can argue right now that not only do the Green Bay Packers have the MVP of the league, they have the Coach of the Year. Now, I can listen to Zach Taylor in Cincinnati. I can listen to this guy or that guy, Belichick with the rookie. But I will tell you right now, if I'm voting, and I'm wearing my Barrel Man t-shirt right now, Brewers fans, got Lambeau Field in the background on the video, I'm voting Aaron Rodgers for the MVP. I'm voting Matt LaFleur for Coach of the Year. And you can argue, I know this is going to make some people mad, that Brian Gutekunst should be Executive of the Year. And I know that people will say the offseason with Rodgers, well, he got Rodgers in. They figured some stuff out. They made acquisitions. Rasul Douglas, they brought in Randall Cobb. Both of those guys have been huge for Green Bay. You can argue it's going to be a clean sweep of coach, quarterback, and Executive of the Year for Titletown, USA. Man, so much to cover in today's podcast, but I think we hit it all, and that's going to do it. But thank you for checking it out. I appreciate it. Tell a friend. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple. We're on Google Podcasts. WISportsHeroics.com is where you can check everything out. My name is Mike Wickett. This has been Wickett on Wisconsin. Until next time, go Pack, go Bucks, and go Brewers.